Coming up on Mountain News this morning, addiction is a battle that never ends, even during the holidays. And some Kentuckians are starting their journey to become a medical cannabis cardholder.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. Thanks for joining us this cold Tuesday morning. Today is December 3rd. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it is definitely feeling like December these days.
Unfortunately so, I would say.
We have walked right into December after Thanksgiving.
We definitely did. Those temperatures are just so cold, and I am not used to it. I'm getting used to it, though, because as we continue throughout the week, we're going to keep on seeing these cold temperatures, so eventually maybe I'll get used to it. But as we're looking at that visibility, most of the area is looking good. We do have some patches of fog as you're traveling more towards Virginia, about 7.6 mile visibility right now, but across the area not looking too bad. But we do have some snow chances still in the area that are pushing its way through. It'll be clear by the time 9 a.m. rolls around. The clouds really are the story if you are more toward the northwest of our area. And here are those temperatures. I mean, it's cold. It's going to stay cold. 20s are what we're seeing right now, and the high temperature is not that much warmer. We're in the low 30s. So again, it's just going to be a cold day, and as you're watching the next 12-hour temperature trend, you can just really see how little it's changing and how cold those numbers really are. I mean, we're really going to see that high temperature around that 3 p.m. mark today. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. We are well into the holiday season, and this may pose a threat for those in the early stages of their addiction recovery journey. I was able to speak to an official with Brightview who is in long-term recovery about the triggers of the season. The holiday season kicks off the gathering of friends and family, and for many, this means an increase in alcohol consumption, except for those who work hard to stay sober.
When family get-togethers, people who don't have alcoholism are able to drink and put one down or, so forth. And it's socially acceptable. So that's also kind of a world we live in.
But for Brightview Outreach Coordinator Ariel Smith and the more than 28 million Americans who struggle with alcohol use disorder, the season may remind them of fractured family dynamics.
Because some people, like you said, don't have any good role models or don't even have a family to celebrate with. And so they can kind of feel already, they already feel isolated because they're in recovery, but then that kind of isolates them more. So we always encourage people to get involved in the community.
Smith says being honest with herself and her support system is what helps to keep her true to her journey in long-term recovery.
I've just been kind of vocal about my struggles instead of suffering inside, because that's the biggest thing with people in recovery is I think we suffer in silence a lot.
She says people need to be patient with themselves, especially if they fall off the wagon during the holiday season.
And letting them know it is okay, because a lot of people have relapse in their story, and recovery isn't a one-time thing. You get it and you're good to go. Like, it's a daily thing.
And the one day at a time attitude is what she says keeps people steady during the recovery marathon. If you or someone you know is struggling with a substance use disorder, you can call 988 to speak with a counselor. Kentuckians can now find healthcare providers that are authorized to issue medical cannabis to patients through a new portal. Seeing an authorized medical cannabis practitioner in person is the first step for patients to become a medical cannabis card holder. A nurse practitioner in Lexington says she's getting many phone calls from patients with questions about the process.
I'm excited because I'm going to make a difference in people's lives. So as a provider, I need to decide if you do indeed need medical cannabis.
The State Office of Medical Cannabis says qualifying conditions include cancer, chronic pain, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, chronic nausea, and PTSD. The Kentucky Senate announced its 2025 committee chairs, vice chairs, and co-chairs. The Judiciary Committee will be headed by two lawmakers from our area, Senator Brandon Storm as chair and Senator Philip Wheeler as vice chair. The Education Committee will be headed by Senator Steve West as chair and Senator Lindsey Teichner as vice chair. These are just some of the committee assignments. They will go into effect starting with the 2025 General Assembly on January 7th. Cyber Monday is one of America's biggest shopping days of the year. While the day of sales is over, financial experts are warning of the higher risks of things like credit card fraud and identity theft. Shane Insminger with Central Bank says fraudsters are getting more creative with modeling phony websites after real retailers' sites. He advises to always pay attention to the URL and the site's payment methods.
So always look for the S after the HTTP in front of the business name. If they don't offer a payment service like PayPal, Apple Pay, which stores all your card information if you choose to put it in there, and then when you do your transaction online, it tokenizes. In other words, it doesn't send the merchant your 16-digit card number.
Experts also say you should always be wary of random text or emails advertising discounts. If you are not signed up for those alerts, chances are it is a scam. The Thanksgiving shopping weekend ended yesterday with Cyber Monday, but folks throughout the Commonwealth are still stressing the importance of shopping local in the midst of this holiday season. Downtown coordinator for the City of Corbin, Jacob Rowan, says making sure to support businesses in small towns is crucial for the economy.
So that keeps those storefronts full and keeps, instead of vacant, dilapidated spaces in your downtown, who wants to drive through a downtown with the empty storefront littered all through downtown? So as you shop local, that money stays local, and that keeps a business in a storefront downtown.
Rowan says supporting your neighbors in the mountains will continue to help the economic growth, as well as a chance to get to know your community. Kentucky's first online confiscated alcohol auction is underway, featuring rare bottles like Old Rip Van Winkle and Blanton's Single Barrel Gold. Proceeds will support programs like Project Prom, Project Graduation, and responsible alcohol education at 10 Kentucky colleges. The auction, which is open to the public but not liquor license holders, runs through December 11th. So far, nearly 70,000 bids have been placed. For details, visit abc.ky.gov.
And we're continuing to stay cold today. In fact, those high temperatures won't be warming up too much. As we take a look zone by zone at those highs, Cumberland Valley will be in the low 30s for most of the area. As you're heading to La Follette, it'll be 36 degrees, so a little bit warmer there, but overall quite cold. Same thing as you're traveling to the Kentucky River Valley, but a little bit colder in the more low 30s, and you're in the upper 20s as you're heading towards Norton. And last but not least, as you're going to that big sandy valley, again seeing those low 30s, a little bit warmer as you're traveling towards Louisa in the mid 30s. And as you're going through the next couple days, you're going to continue to see that temperature drop as you're heading into your Thursday and Friday, but we will be warming up into your next work week, similar to what we should be seeing this time of year in the low 50s. So good things are ahead in terms of temperature, but as you're going through your Tuesday, those temperatures will be warming up, getting to the low 30s by the time 4 p.m. rolls around, and we do have a light wind today. Madison.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Winter weather is hitting other parts of the U.S. as some areas battle piles of snow.